Hapo zamani mama, siku ya hivi, mama. Hapo zamani mama, siku ya hivi, mama. Sasa hapo zamani mama, shauri ya pombe, mama.
I was brought up by my grandmother. Wherever she went, I went. Every night we took the same way to the well. It took hours, but I liked tagging along with the others. My grandfather and his grandfather and everyone as far back as I know worked hard in these fields here in Ethiopia. When I was a kid, I did too. And if it wasn't for Rick, I might be working here today. But that's a story for later on. My name is Dejene. I was born in the Ethiopian town of Addis Salam. I'm going to tell you about 3 people who came to Africa with new ideas. Shoshan is a seed expert. Sivan is a business lady. And Rick is a medical innovator. During the coming year, we're going to see what happens when their ideas come face to face with the African reality. These farmers are scattering tomato seeds from last year's crop. They can never be sure of what they will get. Nuri is a farmer living near my hometown in Ethiopia.
አባቴ ብቻዬን ስለነበርኩኝ ወደ ትምህርት አላስገባኝ። በዛው ትንሽ የመሰረተ ትምህርት ትንሽ ተምሬያለሁ። ያንን ያለ በመማር የራሴ በጣም ችግር ፈጥሮ ያንን የራሴ ችግርን አይቼ ሴት ወንድ ሳልል የራሴ ልጆች ለማስጨረስ በጉጉት ላይ ነው።
Until now, Nuri has only used traditional farming methods. When you work as hard as he does, it's not surprising that he's willing to try a new idea. Shoshan comes from a kibbutz farming community in Israel.
בקיבוץ הנושא הזה של גם שוויון בין האנשים וגם העזרה ההדדית או התמיכה ההדדית. אם אתה נופל, יש לך רשת שמחזיקה אותך, ואם מישהו אחר נופל, אתה מחזיק אותו. התפיסה הזאת השפיעה מאוד על היכולת שלי לראות את הפרויקט ולקפוץ לעשות אותו.
She wants to change the face of agriculture in Africa. She's doing something for our region that nobody has ever done before. For 2 years, her staff tested many varieties of tomato seeds until they figured out what would grow best in our local soil and weather and unpredictable conditions. These 3 kinds of seeds will now be tested by Nuri and about 20 other farmers. For the first time, they'll plant seeds developed for their needs and not for somebody else's.
ተወሰነ ደህና ትርፍ ባገኝ ቦታ ገዝቼ አከራይቼ ለመጠቀም ልጆችንም እዛው ሆነው እንዲማሩ
For every row of Shoshan seedlings, Nuri and the other farmers plant the row the way they used to. It's not that they don't trust her. It's just that, after all, they can't afford to take too much of a risk. Will Shoshan seeds turn out better than the old seeds? 2 months from now, when the tomatoes ripen, we will find out. The number of women who die while giving birth in clinics without electricity is more than 20 times higher than in the developed world. Sam is a community leader. This is the village where he grew up.
So this is home. As it was, we were using a kerosene lamp, kerosene candle. It's just not even a lamp, a candle. And one thing I remember was when I was in my high school, I read until there was a soot in that grass-thatched house I was reading from, my house. When I reflect on that, I don't know whether my lungs are clean. Because if a big house like that had soot, what about my lungs? It's just a world of uncertainty. It's so scary. But somehow you get used, and it becomes a little bit normal but hard. Mama. Baba.
Sivan runs a chain of beauty salons across Israel. Sivan came across the need for electricity in African villages while working in Africa as a United Nations intern.
ברגע שאתה רואה את המצב בכפרים, זה לא שאתה יכול לשכוח, במיוחד שאתה יודע שיש את הפתרון.
She thought about the solar energy panels on nearly every rooftop in Israel. It's the same sun for all of us. Couldn't it be done in Africa as well? It took some time to set everything up, but little by little, solar panels were installed. Suddenly, schools and clinics were lit up for the first time. Dr. Rick Hodes grew up in the United States. He has lived and worked in Africa for nearly 30 years. Here in Ethiopia, he came across a large number of young people suffering from severe spinal problems. Children born with these problems in the West are treated at an early age in a relatively easy way. Because these kids were not treated, they are doomed to live short and miserable lives.
I mean, it's their biggest problem in their life is having a spine which is collapsing, and they can't walk, they're teased in school, they can't function. Life can be very terrible for this reason. The first 3 spine patients I literally adopted, and that's how I got them surgery. What do you play? You play a kookaloo?
Rick found himself adopting more and more kids so that his American medical insurance would cover the cost of their surgery.
We'll see how many he wants.
His house started to become quite crowded.
We sing a song. This is our family song. And hulet sost. If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out warning, I'd hammer out love between my brothers and the sisters, all over this land. If I had a bell,
But the kindness of his heart is not going to be enough to fix the spinal problems of all the kids in Ethiopia. No matter how hard you prepare, you can't always cope with the unexpected. In the tomato fields in Ethiopia, a disease attacked all the plants. Farmers have to pick all the tomatoes now, or else they will be left with nothing. In Uganda, light bulbs have burnt out, and there is no money to replace them. Children once again are using flashlights and kerosene lamps for studying. Here in Africa, vision is one thing, reality is another. Friday is market day in Butajira. It is the one market that farmers like Nuri can reach with their donkey carts and sell their goods. After all his hard work and big hopes, Nuri's field is blooming. One of the new tomato seeds has brought spectacular results. These tomatoes were resistant to the disease that struck the entire region. Nuri is eager to get his tomatoes to the market as fast as he can. Sivan realized that the people needed to find a way to pay for the maintenance cost.
After recognizing that there is a problem here, how do we help sustain the program?
מאיפה יהיה להם את הכסף להחליף את הבטריות ולהחליף את המנורות? אין להם כסף.
Are we supposed to be coming every whatever month or every year to replace this bulb? No. So we build a capacity, and this is one of the ideas I liked about her.
ואז פתאום אני רואה, אין להם נעליים, אין להם אוכל, אבל יש להם פלאפון. ואני אומרת לעצמי, איפה הם מוצאים חשמל כדי להטעין את הפלאפון? אין חשמל בכל האזור.
Do we have enough mobile phone users in this village? I said, yeah, they have. We have so many mobile phone users. Like, oh, where do they charge from? Of course, very far. They have to ride a bicycle, take the mobile phone for a full day, and then somebody coming in the evening would take it back. We set up phone charging systems. Yeah, somebody is using a mobile phone, coming here to charge it, and the money comes back, they buy a bulb, and it's like everyone does it willingly because they want to contribute towards the sustainability of their project. So you find that the village, the money is rolling within the village. So to me, that model of empowering the community and making, like telling them that, hey, you can do something. We can free your hands to do something. You have the capacity, you have the ability in your hands. To me, that is, it's very powerful to me.
Rick had to find another way to keep the children alive. He found a surgeon willing to operate on the kids in Ghana. But the kids would have to stay there for at least 6 months of rehabilitation.
Tell them, some of them are not smiling. Tell them to smile.
Who would look after them without their parents in a strange country where people spoke a strange language?
People come to me from all over the country, and then they sort of join a community. I never thought of it this way until it happened and I saw it in front of my eyes, but they join a community of people like themselves who've suffered, who were deformed, who never had any hope, and they had no idea that there was a surgical treatment for them. It's a support group which is turned into a support group, and these people become best friends with each other. And when you're in traction for months at a time, you have to bond with each other, and you have to learn from each other, and you have to get along with each other.
The kids turned out to be their own best medicine. A therapeutic community invented by Rick, where everyone helps each other, including volunteers who have been through this in the past.
Okay, anyone have questions for me?
When Nuri and his friends arrive at the market, they can't believe their eyes. Because the disease forced all the farmers in the region to harvest their tomatoes at once, the market is swamped. The phone charging business is a success. There are now 80 villages with solar power in schools and clinics, shining light on more than 500,000 people. But the truest sign of success is competition. And sure enough, competitors have sprung up everywhere.
Taking the technologies to the villages, we cause a competition to ourselves, because very good entrepreneurs in the villages copy what we are doing, and then they start competing with us. As a result, the number of phones charged per day have reduced most of our projects.
They will have to do something new now, or the whole project will collapse. The children are now ready to go to Ghana.
They're in very, very good hands. Dr. Boachi is world famous and he's a fantastic surgeon and a fantastic person. Okay, but it's possible that people can die. I want us to all say a prayer. In this room, we have people from all the major religions of the world, okay? Okay, but we all believe in the same God. And we all want what's best for the kids.
ወደ 3 እጁ እንኳን አልፎ አንድ እጁ የለም። መጀመሪያ 500 600 ወይም ሳጥን ነበረ። አሁን 150 ወይም 100 ወይም 70 60 እየገባ ነው ያለው።
The farmers refuse to accept such low prices and fight over every cent. But these are all the tomatoes they are going to have this season. But in the end, they conclude that a bit of money in your pocket is better than a lot of tomatoes in your cart.
እና ያንን የገበያ ቅሬታ አለኝ እንጂ በምርቱ ላይ በጣም እኔም በስራው በርትቼ ሰርቻለሁ። ምርቱ ላይ ምንም ችግር የለውም።
By the end of the week, all the tomato plants in the region were picked. But Nuri and the other farmers in his group are still harvesting because one of the seeds was resistant to the disease. Next week, they will be the only ones with tomatoes in the market. Their plants will give fruit for weeks to come. Sam and Sivan tried to figure out other ways to make money. They turned to the community for ideas. They asked them what else could generate income to keep the schools and clinics lit up.
And what we're trying to do is now to diversify, to say, okay, the phone charging project can be there, but what else can we put there?
They set up tailor shops. They opened barber shop so that the money would keep the lights shining. In this village, they even started to sell solar lanterns.
I want a solar lantern for his kiosk because he leaves this place at 9 p.m. It's very ready to buy even if everything's are there right now. He says he's going to be our first customer. And if everyone copies what we have done, then you're going to see that every place where innovation in Africa is technologically improved. Because we set up a model, somebody copies, another person copies, and you see the village is now becoming a town.
The reliable source of electricity is felt in every corner of the village.
Yeah? This is where you gave birth?
6 months after being together in Ghana,
Breath.
the therapeutic community
Breath.
returns. Their backs have changed, and so have they.
Bahalu, I want you to stand like that. Okay, so even after his surgery, his hands go. For me to be in that position, it would be like this. So all that has come out of his spine. You want to show them what you used to look like? Bahalu, who's that?
It's me.
That's you. So your spine, you had a right angle. You had a 90-degree angle, like there. How's it now? What is your name?
Bailu.
Bahalu what?
Bailu Jamisa.
And how old are you?
Don't know, maybe 8.
Maybe 8. Is she? Do you have a heart? Do you have a heart?
Yeah.
Where's your heart?
Here.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we listen?
Sure.
Is it working?
Yeah.
Okay, now you can check my heart. Is it working? Yeah? Am I alive or dead?
You are alive.
Rick has become a part of the world of these kids, and they are a part of his.
Is she? Everybody welcome? Shabbat Shalom.
They will be the leaders of future groups that get treatment. Someday, maybe even one of them will carry on from where he leaves off.
Like what I'm doing, I just love, like today getting 13 kids back who would have died. That's worth a lot.
Rick's idea of therapeutic communities has taken hold. I was one of the kids adopted by Rick so that I could get the medical treatment that saved my life. Now I'm part of the therapeutic community. Next month, I'll be taking another group for treatment overseas. Rick's idea came out of the same realization that led Sivan and Shoshan to their ideas. To create change, you have to be here and understand what being here means. Today, they're more like insiders than outsiders, and that's why what they brought is here to stay.